Okay, so today we're going to get into something I think a lot of people are thinking about, as they get older and want to feel good and stay healthy and everything else, and that is creatine.
Yeah.
And, you think creatine, you think of those guys at the gym,
Yeah.
big muscles, protein shakes, all that. But we're going way beyond that.
Yeah.
We're going to really look at why creatine is being looked at now as something that could be really important for healthy aging.
Exactly. Yeah, you sent over a really interesting piece, actually, Creatine for Strength and Healthy Aging.
Right.
And our goal today is to really unpack, what is it about creatine that makes it so special for aging?
Right.
And so this is really for you, the listener, as you or your loved ones are aging, what can you do to support your well-being?
Yeah.
And how does creatine fit into all of this?
Absolutely.
So we're going to explore all these potential benefits of creatine as we age.
Okay. So let's just jump right in.
Yeah.
The article starts off by talking about this thing called sarcopenia, which is kind of a technical term, but it sounds pretty important.
Yeah.
So what is sarcopenia?
So sarcopenia, basically, it's the loss of muscle mass and strength that happens as we age.
Okay.
And what's interesting is it's not like it just suddenly happens when you're old.
Right.
It can actually begin, pretty early, sometimes even in your 30s.
Right.
But it really becomes noticeable and starts to affect your life more once you get into your 60s and beyond.
Okay, so it's more than just,
Yeah.
I'm not as strong as I used to be.
Yeah.
There's some bigger things going on here.
Exactly.
What are some of the consequences of this muscle loss?
So the piece you shared highlights some really, serious issues.
Yeah.
One is frailty. Sarcopenia leads to increased frailty, and that makes everyday activities much harder.
Right.
So things like carrying groceries, getting up from a chair, all of a sudden become a real struggle.
Yeah.
And then even more seriously, it increases the risk of falls and fractures,
Oh.
which can have a huge impact on someone's independence and, just their overall quality of life as they age.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so that's where creatine comes in,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think most people probably think of it as, something for athletes to get big muscles.
Yeah.
But it sounds like there's a different role here for older adults.
Absolutely.
What is it?
So creatine is a compound that's actually found naturally in our bodies.
Okay.
And most of it is stored in our muscles.
Okay.
And its main job is to help produce energy in those muscles.
Oh, okay.
So, it's really important for those bursts of power and, intense effort.
I see.
So, yeah, athletes have been using it for years to improve performance, build muscle mass.
Yeah.
But the research now is looking at it, a little differently for older adults.
So it's not about, looking like a bodybuilder when you're 75.
No, not at all.
Good.
For older adults, it's really about preserving the muscle mass they have.
Right.
Fighting that fatigue that can come with age-related muscle loss.
And just, supporting their ability to do everyday physical tasks.
Yeah.
So even with less strenuous activities,
Right.
just having more energy available in your muscles can make a big difference.
Okay, so how does taking creatine actually help fight this muscle loss and frailty that we're talking about?
So this is the really interesting part.
Yeah.
Creatine supplementation actually increases the amount of energy that's readily available in our muscle cells.
Okay.
And this allows us to, exert a little more effort during physical activity and recover more quickly afterwards.
Okay.
And that's especially important because as we age, our body's natural ability to, repair and rebuild muscle tissue actually slows down.
Right.
So it's kind of like having a little extra fuel in the tank,
Yeah.
when your engine's not as efficient as it used to be.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
So even if someone's not, hitting the gym every day, just having that extra energy can make a real difference in everyday life. Yeah, because that increased energy means you can walk a little further without getting tired.
Okay.
You can stand for longer, while you're cooking.
Right.
Or just have more stamina to get through the day.
Yeah.
And when you're able to do more physically, you're more likely to maintain and even improve your strength and function.
Right.
And actually, the piece you sent mentions studies showing that creatine supplementation can lead to enhanced muscle strength.
Oh, wow.
And even a reduced risk of falls, which is, really important.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And, you mentioned the article even talks about brain benefits, which I don't think of when I think of creatine.
Right.
So what's that all about?
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
Research is starting to suggest that creatine might not just be good for our muscles, but also for our brain.
Okay.
And in particular, it could play a role in improving cognitive function and reducing mental fatigue.
Okay.
So how it works in the brain is thought to be similar to how it works in the muscles. It basically helps increase the energy that's available in brain cells.
So just like our muscles need energy, our brain needs energy. And
Exactly.
creatine can help provide that.
Right. And this could be especially helpful during times of sleep deprivation or mental stress,
Okay.
which can be more common as we get older.
Right.
So it could help maintain mental sharpness and focus.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So this research is still ongoing, but it's really fascinating. And it raises all these questions about, the broader role of creatine in healthy aging.
So if someone's thinking, okay, I want to try this creatine, what do they need to know about using it safely and effectively?
Yeah, so the article gives some good advice here.
Okay.
One thing is it's really simple to incorporate creatine.
Okay.
A typical recommendation is about 5 grams a day.
Okay.
And that's generally considered safe and effective for most adults.
And it seems like it's safe for older adults, too.
Yeah, based on a lot of studies, creatine has a good safety profile for older adults. The main thing to be aware of is if you have pre-existing kidney problems.
Okay.
So if you have any underlying health issues, it's always a good idea to talk to your doctor before starting any new supplement.
Right, makes sense.
Yeah.
And how long does it take to see any benefits?
So the information we have suggests that, most people can expect to see some positive changes within a few weeks of consistently taking creatine.
Okay.
And importantly, you don't have to start, lifting heavy weights to experience the benefits.
Right.
Even just incorporating light resistance exercises into your routine can work really well with creatine.
So something like, going for a walk and doing some light weights at home could be enough.
Exactly. It's really about, supporting your body's natural abilities and kind of counteracting that age-related decline.
Okay.
Rather than, having to do these intense workouts.
So just to sum up, what's the key takeaway here for our listeners?
So the main message from, our exploration of this article, Creatine for Strength and Healthy Aging,
Right.
is that creatine is really emerging as a valuable tool for healthier aging.
Right.
And its benefits go way beyond just building muscle.
Okay.
It has real potential to help us maintain muscle mass and strength,
Yeah.
improve our physical abilities in everyday life,
Yeah.
and even, potentially offer some benefits for our brain health.
So it's not just for the young folks hitting the gym anymore.
No, not at all.
Interesting.
Yeah, so for people who are looking to improve their balance,
Yeah.
stay active, and just, feel stronger and more capable as they age,
Yeah.
creatine seems to be a pretty straightforward and well-researched supplement.
Yeah.
That's definitely worth considering.
Yeah. I mean, this has been really interesting.
Yeah.
Really changes the way I think about creatine.
Yeah.
And, on that note, here's something to think about.
Okay.
We talked about all these different benefits of creatine,
Right.
which is something, anyone can pretty much get.
Yeah.
What other things are out there like that we might be overlooking that could really help us as we get older
Yeah.
to stay healthy and independent?
That's a great question.
Yeah. So that's something to think about.
Definitely.
Till next time.
All right. Sounds good.
Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Take care.
You too. Bye.